Update: am I the butthole for deactivating my niece's social media when she refused to do an internet safety course? Short version is I let my 13-year-old niece, who I adopted, have social media. She went against my conditions for having it, so I asked her to take an internet safety course, which she faked attending. When I realized she faked it, I had her delete all of her social media. She told my mother, who called me a controlling and unreasonable butthole, saying my niece knew what she was doing. It's been a few days. I read through every comment on my original post, and saw all your feedback, particularly the parts about my niece being unlikely to trust me after this. I sat my niece down one final time. I talked to her again about all the information she wanted to add, trying to explain again why it was a bad idea to put her full name, her date of birth, location, and whatever else online. She still didn't believe that it could be dangerous. So I asked her what information she wanted to put exactly. She told me. I Googled it. The entire first page of results was all about her, or my sister, her mother, or me. It showed her school website, as she's been mentioned in the newsletter. Her full name also brought up her personal phone number, and a website for details of the adoption. I then showed her what was linked with my name, despite my very careful social media presence. The results included a background check website that listed all my former names, my number, my address, where we currently live, and more behind a paywall. She now completely understands what I was trying to tell her. We worked out a new deal. She's allowed social media, but instead of all the information, she wanted to add she's only allowed her star sign and that she's a minor. She can give a location, but it has to be our county, not our town. Her profile will be on private and she can only link up with people she knows IRL. I will follow her from a fake account, so her friends don't see her aunt on her friend lists. These restrictions will lessen in due time. If she does anything to screw it up, it all gets deactivated again, and we won't even revisit the topic of social media until she's 15. As for my mother, I called her and told her to back off. I said that I have custody of my niece, so I make the decisions, and Mum doesn't get to make that harder for me. That if she really thought my niece putting her full name, date of birth, location, etc., online was safe, she's an idiot, and it pisses me off that the only times I hear from her, it's so she can tell me that I'm doing something wrong, when she herself was given the chance to adopt my niece and refused. Mum essentially said that she can't believe I'd treat her like this and I shouldn't expect to hear from her for a while. Web link. FYI, if it's the background check website I think it is, you can opt out of having your information on it. It's a really simple process, it's just not obvious from the website that it's there. Search the website's name and opt out and you should be able to find instructions. Original poster replies, you can opt out. That's amazing. I'll look into that right now. Here's a great document that has removal links and instructions for all / most major people search websites, page 6. It was last updated June 2020, so should still be pretty accurate. Even if some of the links have changed, it still functions as a useful list for which sites to check. Web link. Saving this comment for future reference, thank you. Generally speaking, you can opt out of or ask to take down info from any internet database, especially if it's things like home addresses, phone numbers, etc. I do not believe this applies for arrests, lawsuits, etc. Just contact info. They may make it a pain to figure out, but I believe they have to allow it for privacy reasons. It's a good thing to do a sweep and check this every once in a while to ensure your personal info remains limited online. Yes, most of those sites have a way to back out and have them delete your information. I have done it, and as far as I know, I'm not on any one of them unless I missed a few. This isn't related to what you said, I just want to be sure you see it, hence replying to your comment on the top post. Show your niece this, it's rated 15, references grooming, CSE, and murder, but frankly, if this doesn't put it into perspective for young people what could happen if they're not careful online, I don't know what will. Before anyone says, yes, I realize this case is extreme, but kids are still regularly groomed online. Breck's last game, Leicestershire Police. And just the Wikipedia page so you can have a quick read about what happened. YouTube link. Web link. Whatever keeps kids safe? I was groomed, it's so easy. Which site is it? Can you DM me if you're not comfortable posting the name here? It's a pain, but you should really Google your name, number and address a few times a year and go through the hassle of making sure everything gets deleted. I don't have any social media and my info is still put up regularly, no idea how they get it. Please be certain to do so immediately after clearing cookies and cache. Log out of all accounts the clear cookies and cache. Then see what's available after your computer forgets you are you. TruePeopleAsearch.com had all of my info on it. I had it removed because I attract way too many crazy people to have them be able to figure out where I live from a Google search. Holy crap. Just tried it and they had so much info on me. I missed it since it didn't come up when you Google my name. Opting out of that now. It's crazy. Nice for when you're looking for a long-lost relative, terrible when you don't want people knowing all that stuff about yourself. I don't know for sure what site original poster found herself on, but I'm guessing it's Radary's. If you search your full name and you haven't opted out, your Radary's listing will probably be in the first page of results. If you opt out, you can get most of your info off. You'll still show up as a contact in other people's results and they might have a link to your public social media profiles, but it's a lot less info than otherwise. I just tried it on myself and there's nothing. 37 results and none of them are me. I do use social media, but it's all private. I guess I've done a good job if that website doesn't know I exist. There are dozens of people search websites. There's about 10 or so popular ones and one of those is probably what original poster is talking about. If you're curious, then start on page 6 of this data removal workbook. Web link. You are a lifesaver. I recently Googled my very unusual and one-of-a-kind name and it came up with my exact address down to my apartment number. Terrified the crap out of me and made me feel super unsafe and scared that I can meet a stranger. They get my name and can easily find where I live through Google. Terrifying. Mum essentially said that she can't believe I'd treat her like this and I shouldn't expect to hear from her for a while. Honestly, sounds like a bonus. Kudos to you on how you are handling it. Taking over responsibility for a teenager must be extra challenging. I applaud your desire to seek outside advice and being able to glean the good parts of it from the bad. LOL. Original poster replies, honestly, sounds like a bonus. If I said I wasn't excited about not hearing from Mum for a while, I'd be lying. It really does feel like I only hear from her when she has a criticism for me, so a break is probably the best outcome. I'm happy too, just knowing I have no idea who she is and will never find out either. I wonder if your mom knows every single kid on the internet, even those who are seriously private and careful, will experience sexual harassment from older people. Whether it's personal experience or just seeing harassment and pedophilic actions and behaviors, it's pretty much impossible not to find yourself involved in serious crap. Everyone I've ever known, including myself pretty much, have at some point very early on encountered traumatizing crap on the internet. Adults always find minors. Kids should of course still be allowed online, cause if you have no access to the internet and your friends and everything fun to do, it's bound to become a pretty isolated and depressing life, unless it's by their own choice of course. But your mom is a serious danger to your child. Your kid can't escape the trauma of the internet sadly, but your mom is the kind of person to guarantee that trauma extends several years in advance. Most kids turn out fine despite the crap they see and experience online, but your mom's complete lack of consequence awareness is one of the main reasons kids end up in the kind of situations they can't recover from, when it comes to families' involvement in their online business at least. You're doing parenting right, keep up the good work. Yeah, the internet is a surprisingly dark place, I'm glad people are beginning to see that though. r/creepypms has a shocking number of posts from minors being preyed on. Reddit link. People over at r/teenagers are warning each other about specific users on Reddit who prey on minors here as well, and it's scary to see in the comments the amount of children who have had creepy encounters with the same adult users. Reddit link. I'd be tempted to be snarky next time she calls. Really? Has it been a while already? Original poster replies, that would probably get her to go back to ignoring me. Sounds perfect. You now have a perfect need a break from hypercritical mom strategy. Guessing your mom wasn't quite as hard on your sister. I'm still baffled why kids cheat on those kinds of courses. It seems easier to just take the damn class. I'm just here to give you these, r/raised by narcissist scapegoat, Golden child and other relations in the abusive family, web link. Reddit link. Not original poster, but thank you for helping me identify problems in my own life that stem from my mom. I casually blame her for how effed up I am, but damn, seeing it all in writing just confirms what I subconsciously knew. I've played every time around my mom and have settled into a mascot/scapegoat/lost child role. I'm 27 and haven't lived with her for 10 years, and yet I'm still affected. Every time I say I love you, her response is I love you more. Just imagine if you had replied to the don't expect to hear from me for a while by quietly muttering oh thank God, just loud enough for her to hear. My kind of person right here. Sounds like it's a needed outcome, for your sanity. Your mom will be back soon because she needs to feel in control. Maybe she's one of those lonely people who seek out fulfillment in life by following others on social media and living their lives through it. Not having access to information about your niece will bring her back because she craves that information. Maybe it'll enable you all to have a healthier relationship. Boundaries are important for everyone. Good call on showing your niece around the internet. Good on her for understanding it. All the best. Ironic your mom wants to give you parenting advice given her track record screwing up your sister to the point she lost custody of her child. You did the right thing protecting your niece. There are tons of internet perverts out there. I ran into many of them when I was a minor. Now with social media it is even easier for the perverts to go after minors. Also, her identity can be stolen so easily, even as a minor. You are doing everything right, 100, celebratory hands in the air. When she tries to come back to talking to you, you should just ignore her. At least for however long she's not contacting you. Show her just how well her punishment works. I hate that when people try to meddle in with your parenting, it totally messed it up. Your post and the way you speak about your niece, you are really good for her. Truly care for her safety and well-being. I'm a nobody with no kids but same age as you, and yeah, wow, you're a full-on good parent just looking at this situation. So I'm sure you're perfectly fine in your other parenting situations. You did a really good thing for her by taking her in, and don't listen to criticism from your mother. You're awesome. Like. Some people have no self-awareness and think the worst punishment is to remove their presence, when they're the problem in the first place. I love it when the trash takes itself out. Preach. Because people are so egotistical that they think it's a privilege to be in their presence. Which is another excellent example of projection. These types can't stand to be by themselves, so they don't afford you that luxury, either. My mother-in-law is like that. She thinks the silent treatment is punishment. It's a glorious respite from her stupid, malicious behavior. I was thinking the exact same thing. Win-win. In the immortal words of Arnold J. Rimmer, a plan with no drawbacks. I honestly don't think I've ever seen Red Dwarf referenced anywhere before. Okay, so this is a thing I'm dealing with but differently, and I have a feeling you may be soon too. My dad died about 5 years ago, and my mom is ready to start dating/looking for a companion again. She's always been smart, but the online dating scene for a 77-year-old woman is filled with scammers. So instead of my mom policing me about online safety, I'm policing her. I think the couple questionable experiences she's had already made her feel down that people are looking to exploit the elderly who are just looking for love. But she gets it. I think. If your mom doesn't think that, your niece putting any of that info out into the world will be potentially dangerous. I'd be worried about her, and what she's doing. Also, you are amazing for adopting your niece. My one sister put me in her will to be the guardian for her daughter, but my sister is still alive and my niece is 21 and making bad choices. But that's another story. Teens are hard, and so many guardians just want to be friends to avoid conflict and not make hard choices that are for the best. Mom essentially said that she can't believe I'd treat her like this and I shouldn't expect to hear from her for a while. The best response to people saying stuff like this is, do you promise? Exactly. Don't threaten me with a good time, Mom. I shouldn't expect to hear from her for a while. WillyWonka.jpg. Best bonus would be if it's forever. Glad you figured something out with your niece. What she was doing was very unsafe, so I hope she continues to follow your new agreement. I'm glad she has someone like you looking out for her. It's the sort of thing that should be revisited at least yearly. Many schools run some sort of online awareness, Internet Safety Week early in the year to talk about the dangers, what information needs to be protected, etc., at least in my country, New Zealand, and that sort of thing should be backed up at home. I'd suggest to original poster that she do an occasional check-in to ensure her niece is still sticking with the program, and why it's all so important. When something hits the news that's relating to personal internet security, cases of missing kids that went to meet someone they connected with online, etc., keep that stuff in the front of niece's face, at an age-appropriate level, so she's less likely to forget the dangers. It's a good age to start talking about grooming and alienation as well, and make it really clear that regardless of how things are going at home, you've always got their back. Make sure kids understand how a stranger can insert themselves into their lives and trick them into feeling like the world is ending and there is no one to turn to except this random person on the interwebs. It's seriously scary stuff. Edit. Thanks /user traffic wizard for the award, Reddit link. Yup. I Google myself fairly frequently and was very thankful that I'd had the foresight to almost completely scrub myself from showing up on Google when I was harassed and borderline stalked by someone I knew IRL. I don't even want to know what could have happened if they'd been able to get my address. The only results that show up when you search my name are a few articles regarding academic achievements from 10+ years ago, which no one can really do anything with LOL. The only photo that shows up is the one I used publicly on LinkedIn years ago, but doesn't actually redirect to anything that has info on me. Honestly, the only way anything even pops up for me personally is if you type in my Insta handle. My name is super common, so I'm lucky. I know you can get my address and stuff if you dig in those background check things, but otherwise, there's just too many people with my first and last name. Thank you, Mom, for choosing my common but not too common name. I have a very uncommon name, so my phone hash and home address would show up on the first page of Google on multiple sites before I had myself removed from them. I was pretty horrified the first time I Googled myself laughing out loud. Whoa. That would freak me out. I've never really had that type of issue. My name is also very uncommon. I don't even like giving people my real name, so I go by Idri until I actually know them. Just by a first name Google you can find me. How did you manage to do that? I have no social media presence and there's so much info on me out there. Each of those background check websites has an opt-out page where you can request to be removed. Aside from that, most social media I did have was never linked to my real name, not that I really had much, aside from Facebook and LinkedIn, but I had always made sure both those profiles were locked down with the strictest privacy settings possible. I'm glad you don't have to hear from your mom for a while. Hope she keeps her word. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.